one of our listeners, Ken from Chicago, on Twitter hit me up to this, and the article is about, is this blackface? There's a company, a DEI company called Mersion, and they create videos that use avatars to walk you through different types of scenarios for DEI type things. One of the things that is somewhat problematic is that they're using white actors to portray black people in these videos. And I wanted to get each of y'all's takes on what's going on. Because it's like when I was like,
yeah,
this is what we doing now?
It's
DEI company, and this is what you're doing?
And they got some brother at the company to say, I don't think he said that of his own volition, but the argument that they used for why they used white actors to portray black people was that they didn't want black people to continue to have to be re-traumatized by playing these roles over and I'm like, we re-traumatize every day because we live in America. So I'm not sure how this is going to add to that. But anyway, I don't necessarily buy that. However, if you were legitimately trying to, save some black folks from some trauma, I think you could at least have done some due diligence on script approvals and something like don't be having white folks up in here using N-words and just trying to mimic African American vernacular English and all that without. I don't know. I don't like it. The whole thing stinks. I'm trying to like figure out what little loophole I can give them to make this okay. But I'm struggling, as you can see, and I don't like anything about it. I really don't.
It's just, how ironic is it that you are a company that's telling other companies, hey, you need to do better with diversity, equity, and inclusion, and you ain't even doing better in diversity, equity, and inclusion. Right? How can you convince a company that they need to spend more money, they need to reach out to more people, they need to utilize more resources in order to make it a more diverse company, when you yourself aren't doing the research, you haven't hired any more people, you're not spending the extra money? It's like, how does that?
Yeah.
How does that even work?
Because Mersion, they have DEI issues of their own. The other part of this article
of course they do.
Their own employees and contractors say that there's a lot of problematic stuff
up in there. Mm-hmm. And I mean, they hopped on that 2020.
It was a money grab,
like everybody else did when George Floyd was murdered. Everybody and their mama became a DEI expert because the companies, all of a sudden, every company wanted to be woke, and they was throwing bags of money at whoever could help them be the wokest. And this company got a bag, and it's like, okay, y'all didn't even do DEI training before last summer. You know what I mean? So, right. And now y'all got a $20 million valuation behind some whack ass virtual reality that y'all doing. That it just the whole thing just stinks. The whole thing just stinks to me.
So yeah, one of the things that I took away from the article as I was reading through it was that let me just say this first. So black people are not a monolith. We are nothing close to it. There's simply too many of us for that to be the case. So it is very possible that you're going to have even black actors who they have to act a part. They've got to play a part in whatever script that they're working out. So some people are going to say, well, if a black actor can actually play the part, well, couldn't a white actor? And well, in this case, they are. So it's not about whether they can or not. They are doing it. The question is, well, should they? Because one of the things that, regardless of, what, how you lean on societal norms, how you lean on things that happen in our world when you are a black person, because we are not a monolith. There is a shared experience of, well, you are black, and there's just things that happen to you. There's things that that happen in your world that just don't happen in another world, because the other world doesn't have the same level of pigmentation that you have.
Absolutely.
So because of that, there's just going to be some cultural things. You can actually have a white person who's trying their best to play a role, but unfortunately they're going to bring some of their own unconscious bias to that role that's going to come through. So
no matter what,
so I'm not going to sit here and say that this is as bad as if you have somebody go put some shoe black on and literally change the color of their skin to go play a role. I'm not saying that, but it's like, come on, you're a DEI company,
right?
And this is,
and they were also, it wasn't just black folks. They were also using neurotypical folks to play autistic folks, which I don't think was probably the best thing to do either. And it's just like, especially when you have the ability to hire the people you need to hire to do the thing. If you don't want to traumatize your black folks from always having to play the black role, hire some more black people.
Well, here's the thing. I mean? These are contractors.
Yeah.
These aren't even employees.
Right.
The talent, they're contractors. So
you can have a rotating pool of different black people and different autistic people to fill these roles and do them the justice that they deserve. Because when you're trying to, I can see if, this is definitely still not another loophole, but if this was just theater, and these were just movies and you're like, it's a virtual movie, it doesn't make a difference, whatever, but you're using these videos to train other human beings.
And that's my point.
What I mean? Yeah. And so you need to have the most authentic and accurate experience possible, and you're not necessarily going to get that when like you said, Rob, there's some unconscious bias that's just going to inevitably creep in to somebody who doesn't have that same experience. That's
just like me trying to train somebody on how to use Windows 11, and then they do a review or something, they ask me a question, I'll be like, well, I don't have a Windows computer. So it's like, well, how do you not have a Windows computer? Right. It's the same thing. It's like, how are you going to train somebody on diversity, equity, and inclusion when you don't have diversity, equity, and inclusion? It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
It stinks.
I'll leave with this one point.
He's going to take that money and run. That's what I see happening.
Because now you're going to have their customers is like, we can't buy these videos anymore. Here's one thing
none of the companies they worked with had a comment, but best believe they all going back to their own departments. Like, did y'all know about that? Okay, we're not the fire behind this. Get rid of them. Oh yeah, they buy. Yeah,
the comments is in the purchase order. It's like, decline.
Who okayed this?
So like the last thing I'll say on this is that one of the comments was, well, we're trying to spare the feeling. I'm paraphrasing. We're trying to spare the feelings of our black actors.
They'll be all right.
But aren't you concerned about that white actors that you out there having them trying to act like, what is his name? Ziggy Azalea? It's just like, you gonna make them act like this? It's like, come on now. It's like, this is just not a good look. Like I said, it is not as bad as shoe paint, shoe black, but
it is.
now you're a DEI
on that line though.